one that you have to take time and look into it. It's unfortunate that I'm unable to produce the light nicely. As you can see, back home in my nation, we are facing challenges of power cuts. This load shedding, which is running from 8, 10 to 17 hours. It's not actually doing us any good. So that's the reason why on today's video I'm proud to bring to you a very powerful video that I just came across today, and I feel like you have to watch it and see how it can help you also to survive this load shedding that is currently happening in our country now, Zambia. One of the reasons why I brought out this video to your fingertips today is that you shouldn't go out there and buy something that will not last long. Pila tulanda ati ama Chinese. That's what we've named them, but the Chinese themselves are told to say, we don't produce Chinese stuffs, we produce according to your budget. So in our local language, I believe we've not found a better term to describe things which are not very strong enough. So instead we go by ama Chinese things. Okay, so in today's video you are going to learn or know exactly what is your backup plan if at all you face these challenges of power cuts and load shedding. So without wasting much of your time, I want you to walk with me as Natasha is going to talk to one of our beautiful and good people that have come with a solution to these power problems that we've been facing. Please.
When you don't have your primary source of energy. Primary sources of energy are normally the energy grid itself. If the grid is going to offer you energy, that's your primary source, then an alternative will be a secondary source that you can utilize as a backup in times when you don't have energy coming in from the grid. Let's say in rural areas, then if we use solar, that will be the primary source of energy because it's not an alternative, it's the only thing that they're having. While an alternative is when you do not have energy, like the current situation of load shedding that we are currently faced with. So we need to have an alternative source of energy, like a backup system, like the system that you can see behind here. We've got a battery, we've got the inverter there. Now this is an alternative source of energy because we are utilizing this once we are load shedded, then this kicks in and we are starting to utilize the energy.
Okay, fantastic. So you've actually almost partially answered my next question.
Yes.
Which is, what are the different types of alternative energy sources? And like you said, this is so topical for us.
Yes.
Yeah, so what are the different types?
So we have different types of alternative sources of energy. We've got hydro can be utilized as also an alternative source of energy. So all energies such as wind energy, solar, geothermal energies are all alternative sources of energy, just depending on when and how. While we can prioritize solar to be our primary source of energy, then secondary source of energy can be hydro energy, the grid. We can prioritize solar during the day when you've got light, you can produce energy from that. Then during the evening when you don't have light, you go back to the national grid, which will be also again an alternative source of energy. So all sources of energy are alternative sources of energy, just depends on which one is our primary and secondary source of energy.
Okay, so now in this situation that we're facing with these long hours of load shedding, which are the ones that are most relevant? Because of course we can't go into wind sources of energy, but for those of us consumers, which of these alternative sources are the most relevant right now for
So
us?
the most relevant source of energy right now that we are having as a country is solar energy, because it's abundant and it's clean energy, and also it's fancy. There's a fanciness to yes. When you look at a home which has got solar panels, everybody admires it. Like, oh, there are the solar panels. They add beauty to the structure that you're already having, and that's also a very good thing. But it's the most abundant source that we are currently having. These are the many sources that we can utilize as a country, especially when it comes to alternative sources of energy when we don't have
Just add on from what the gentleman just said. Um, I believe we were not fed with the information of solar back in the day. We might have, but the information was quite little. So, as technology always grow, the country also is growing, and we the people are also growing. So for me, I know that we are facing a challenge. We are facing this road shedding crisis, but uh, as a human being and also as a person, a citizen of the country, let's also not also try by all means to pressurize, uh, you know, but let's also be part of the solution. But how are we going to be part of the solution? One thing that I loved about the gentleman, they explained how neat and reliable their system is out there, the society. Please uh, continue so that you may learn more.
our energy grid.
Okay, so now I think everybody who will be watching will be wanting to know what this display behind us is all about.
Yes.
So maybe you guys can just show us the different types of equipment that we have here. Yes.
All right. So now we'll firstly start with the inverter. So we've got an inverter here. Can have the breakers there. And the breakers there. So now most of these are protection. This is protection. Most of this is protection from anything like surges, especially surges. So we've got an inverter here. This is a hybrid inverter. So,
What do you mean by hybrid?
so this inverter, what it can do is it can have both solar panels as well as the grid to this inverter. Then it has got an MPP charge control system, meaning that you can actually draw energy from the solar panels directly from the solar panels, and you can use them in your home while it's saving the battery pack. And this also saves up on the usage of the battery pack, and also allows for the longevity in terms of duration on the battery. So it doesn't panic the battery, where you'll be drawing direct energy from the batteries to your home. So now this inverter also selects which it's going to prioritize between its secondary and primary source. So its secondary can be prioritized to say the panels can be the secondary source, whereas if you are being load shedded, it will prioritize using the panels rather than the battery. That is the best thing that has come out in the last 5 years in terms of the inverters and the technology that has been put in. Then you also pose the question to say, you've used some systems that were not operating so well for you. So the installers it's very important to get somebody that is well knowledgeable about the installation systems, because like this battery.
You've heard what the just gentleman said. It's very vital, very, very important to have someone install your inverter, all these equipments, rather than wind tengache mabush mechanics or koromashan, how you call them, because they're just going to damage. That's the reason why we are able to find or hear news about there's a house on fire and everything. And I believe this kind of things, they can't even cause those kind of issues, because these guys are very smart. They are doing a very good job. This is the progress that we need. This is the development that we need in the country at the moment.
Yeah, this is a smart battery. So what we are having here, you're having a lithium ion battery, 48 volts, and it's been installed on this inverter. So this battery communicates with the inverter. So it communicates on the charging rate, the temperature rate of the battery, and it also communicates with the discharge rate that it's supposed to discharge this battery at. So this is a smart battery. Wow. So it's supposed to communicate with the inverter. You can also communicate with this entire system on your phone.
On your phone?
Yes, on your phone.
So what will I be seeing on my phone?
On your phone, you can be able to tell this inverter to turn on and turn off.
Wow.
Instead of you be in your bedroom and this inverter is actually...
Work smart. Work smart. This machine here, you can use it actually with your phone. Instead of switching go and turn off, I mean, you can just simply use your phone to switch on, to switch off. Simple and straightforward.
Somewhere else, well, maybe we put it in your kitchen, you'll be able to turn on the inverter. But normally we do have a changeover switch. This is a changeover switch. Okay. Just to add that human touch to the inverter so that you can be making checks and balances on the inverter. You don't give it full autonomy. Because once you give it full autonomy, meaning that you might have a problem at a certain particular time that you won't notice. But whereas you bring in the human touch, you can change and shift the balance. You'll be able to notice that no, that is not right. You can notice this will also give you error codes and alarms that will tell you that there's a problem here. Either the battery is not communicating with the inverter or the inverter is not communicating with the battery. And these are very good systems because in the long run they actually reduce your utility bill. So it's also about the equipment. So when you go into town today, you find an inverter equally almost the same, but it's going for 7,000. And the price range, when you look at that inverter that is going at 7,000, it's not a good inverter.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about this because you know how we are as Zambians.
Yes.
We always want to bargain, right?
Yes.
People always want what's the cheapest I can get it. So tell us now what the pricing means.
So now the pricing, cheap is expensive.
Come on, say that again.
Cheap is expensive. So when it comes to the inverters, like we do have the mast inverters here. So now these are more durable, very long lasting, and also the equipment itself. These equipments are like German vehicles. I'm not talking of the Japanese. Yes. So now imagine most Zambians want to purchase something that a Toyota Corolla to do the performance of BMW.
I don't know how the Japanese company is gonna feel about that, but anyway.